The French AI startup Mistral AI announcing a nearly $2 billion Series C funding round. It's led by chipmaker equipment giant ASML. Mistral now valued at nearly $14 billion. Joining us right now, the founder and CEO of Mistral AI, Arthur Mensch. It's great to see you this morning. Congratulations on the new fundraising. I think the big question now is what do you do with the money and how do you compete with all these other players as everybody seems to be racing against each other?
Well, what do we do with the money? We're going to be investing it in continuing to be a Frontier AI lab. As you've seen, this is a partnership that allows us to go more into verticals, to bring value into a high-end industry, which is the semiconductor industry. And so we're very happy and very excited by what's coming next. We'll be investing this money in training better models in physics, training better models in all of the capabilities that we need. And of course, in our growth across the globe, in Europe, in the US, where we're growing very fast as well, and in Asia.
Is there a fight for talent at the same level in Europe as we are hearing about in Silicon Valley? This idea that there are people who are being offered $50, $100 million checks to come work at these labs?
Well, Europe is a great place to hire from. It's one of the places where we have the best schools in computer science and in mathematics. So we do benefit from a very strong employer brand, and it goes very well with the end-to-end AI offering for which we're defining the category, where not only do we bring product, but we also bring a unique expertise in building models and in connecting models to context and data. And so the employer brand that we have in Europe has allowed us to build a very strong forward-deployed team that we send along with our product to actually create ROI with enterprises.
But in terms of just being able to compete for this talent, when we read these headlines, I mean, we're constantly reading new headlines about Meta picking off, this team and OpenAI picking off this team and Google trying to do this and do that. Is that, I mean, you're competing among that group. How complicated and difficult is that at this point?
Well, it's turning out to be quite okay for us. We are actually able to constantly hire people from big tech. I think the culture that we promote, which is a culture of science, a culture of transparency as well, is something that AI scientists, to be honest with you, are really looking for. And so if we look at the competition that we have with Meta and Google, well, we've been hiring around 40 or 50 people from these companies. So far, I think we're doing well.
When you sort of look out a couple of years from now at this space that you're in, and there are a whole bunch of players, obviously, do you say to yourself there's only going to be 2 or 3 or 4 of them? Do you think that there's going to be thousands of them? What does the competitive landscape ultimately look like in your mind?
Well, I think we are defining a category where there is basically no other player, in that we are bringing a fully integrated solution from infrastructure. We've announced Mistral Compute a couple of months ago with NVIDIA. So from infrastructure to models to solutions. And it's actually, if you look at enterprises' needs today, if they only take models, in general, they struggle and they end up having zero ROI. And so our focus is to bring ROI to enterprises, to all of the enterprises that we work for, so ASML, CMA, CGM, for instance. And to do that, not only do we bring models, but we bring all of the stack that allows to build the custom applications, and we bring the expertise that is lacking in those enterprises. So in that respect, I think we're defining a category that is playing out to be extremely important and will play out to be very important in the coming years. And if you look at the few labs that are able to do Frontier AI, well, we're probably the only one in Europe, and there won't be that many of them because it's actually a fairly costly endeavor, and also the reason why we are raising and announcing this fundraise today.
The other big question right now is whether we are in a gold rush or some kind of sugar rush as it relates to sort of the broader economy, which is being propped up to some degree by all of the spending in AI, and yet the cash flow around AI, for the most part, doesn't necessarily add. The math does not get you there. And we just learned yesterday or earlier, I think in the past week, that OpenAI, for example, had hoped to be able to break even sooner than they had originally planned to break even sooner, and then now believes that to keep up effectively, they're going to have to spend $80 billion more than anticipated. And so the question is when I don't know if you can see me, but when do the lines cross? Meaning, when do you get to a point where these things are profitable enterprises, or even just not money losing enterprises?
I think what matters there is the long-term value of our customers. So they need to be creating value out of AI systems. And so for this, they will need help. I think it will take a decade for them to fully transform the way they operate and to fully transform their product. So that's a decade of growth for us. What matters there is, first, you need to create long-term value for your customers so that you can actually get a cut of it. And then you need to have contained spending in what you do on the infrastructure side. And so in that respect, since we've only burned around 400 million since our inception 2.5 years ago, I think we've been spending less than 1% of what our competitors in the US have been doing. And still we've been able to release models that are now on the podium in terms of human preferences. So what matters is to spend not too much and then to make money by creating value with customers. And for us, strategically, we think it only comes with an end-to-end integrated solution offering.